Here is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, I've spent all day trying to come up with a good word to describe how cold it is out there. Can't really think of one, and more cold air is on its way by tonight. So let's make sure we're making all those preparations now and continuing to make them, because tomorrow's also looking like a pretty chilly day. Now, we're dropping down into those lower temperatures pretty quickly. Take a good look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours. Down to 39 degrees, only off by 1 degree for myself. Then only up into the 50-degree mark, and we're fighting back and forth. Now, I put 52 today, so I'm off by about 3 degrees on both sides. And we're going to see how fast we cool down underneath these clear skies. You saw the time lapse with waves of clouds making their way in, but some of those stronger winds from the north are pushing in that cold air. 48 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of 50 degrees and those mid-40s. We got shades of blue all over the entire place. 36 degrees up there in Sterling City, 50 down there in Junction. That is 14 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, unless you want to count Mason way out there, but it's cold. Doesn't matter where you are in the region. Now, the moisture values are sort of all over the place, as well as seeing some of the dry air. Relatively speaking, dew points anywhere from those 20s up into those 30s, while the humidity indices are from those 40s up into those 50s across the entire area. So it's pretty humid despite seeing some of these colder and drier temperatures, at least the air. When we look at the moisture tracker, really just tracking that cold air, continuously settling over the Concho Valley. But by the end of the week, we're going to see some of that southerly flow push back in, and we'll be all the way back up into those 70s by Sunday. Now, when we're looking at the upper level pattern, that long wave trough is finally on its way out, and we're dealing with a little bit of ridging. You're going to feel it by tomorrow into those lower 60s, and by the end of the week all the way into those 70s. Now, this is going to keep a lot of the systems up towards the north, so we're going to see only a little bit of light cloud cover, if not some cooler temperatures. But by next Tuesday, we're tracking another cutoff low. It's getting ready to do the exact same thing. This could be the next plunge down into the 50s and the 20s. That's right where Haley wants it. So when we're looking at the water vapor imagery, watching the next setup for this monster winter storm making its way off the west coast, I don't think it's going to make it all the way down to Malibu, but we're keeping our eye on the dry air sliding over us right now and hoping for some of those warmer temperatures to make their way in. Now, the severe weather outlook really sort of just lingering around the Gulf Coast region. It's really just sort of been over the south for the past couple days, and when we take you down to the surface, we can see just how slow this cutoff low is around the Hudson Bay. Now, there's our next winter storm making its way down. These areas have seen about a 25-degree difference in the last 24 hours, and there's more below freezing temperatures making their way in. So it's going to keep us cold for one more day before we warm up. Now, the Futurecast is keeping it pretty quiet for now in our area, but you're getting a good idea of where these winter storms are going to continue to make their way through. By about Thursday, we'll start to see some of that low cloud cover make its way in, but you're getting a good idea of the winter storm and the tail end of it that we can see here in the Concho Valley, but only a little bit of cloud cover. So tonight, below freezing temperatures. The 40 degrees is wrong. It's going to be all the way down there into those upper 20s. So let's prepare now. People, pets, plants, and pipes, make sure you're cracking that sort of faucet. That includes outside, opening up those cabinets. Then tomorrow, up into those lower 60s. The winds are finally going to die down, but it's still going to be a pretty chilly day. By the evening of Wednesday evening, we'll be all the way back down into those 30s, but we're on the warm-up. Take a good look by Friday, all the way back up into those 70s. By the end of the weekend, we're going to be somewhere around those 40s and those lower 70s, but here comes the next big drop as we drop all the way down into those lower 60s, but we're still holding on to those lower 50s. Stay tuned. I'm up with the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.